Hi there, meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today. It is currently the 10th of April 2014, and I do want to start off by saying tropical depression now Peipah, a very weak storm system. You can see here on the satellite imagery, and I'll even go ahead and flip through some of the different imagery types. It's just very disorganized. And I do want to start off by saying I know a week ago we were saying there was a possible typhoon. We put out one graphic and I was right on the fence about it or not, if I should put it out. And it does look like probably shouldn't have. And this is why I do say, especially in long range situations, don't jump the gun. And we sort of jumped the gun. I did say a few times maybe this is a time to start making preparations for a very severe storm system coming ashore along the eastern portions of the Philippines right about now. Um, Big caveat though, every time we post stuff like this, there's a big chance for change. And why we say, and this is just kind of a recommendation for all the new forecasters out there and those people that are inspiring to be forecasters. And I know a lot of you who are watching my video updates, you are those people. Don't put out stuff like warnings a week ahead of time, or don't say something like Signal Force 3 will probably be in place, or Signal Force 3 will be in place for Cebu, for example, a week ahead of time before the official agency puts it out, because the caveat is these storm systems are ever changing. And despite we had basically the dynamics in place, model consensus was pointing towards a severe tropical storm. Wind shear had its basically way with this storm system, and that can be a killer for tropical systems. You can pull it up right now. You can still see 20 to 30 knots along the northern periphery, and that's continuing to tear it apart. Back over the weekend, we saw the shear starting to take place. On Monday, it was still there. The center of circulation was exposed going into Tuesday, and eventually over towards Wednesday it continued. And the longer you had that, the more this storm just fell apart. And there was a point where the flame starts to get tipped over, and then the flame just goes out. And there's really very, very little chance of that really starting to reignite. Now, there is still a chance it could reignite. And I say that with a just like before, there's still a chance that it was going to weaken. Now there's still a chance it could reignite. But right now, it doesn't seem like that. It's still going to be a rainmaker for the coastal areas. Nothing more than scattered thunderstorms. This is the latest track from Pagasa. You can note there is no track from Pagasa. JTWC is actually the only agency warning on this storm system right now. And they're expecting it to basically come on shore as a very weak tropical depression. Winds about 25, it may get up to 30 knots, and if we see 35 knots, that's a tropical storm. There is some ingredients off here towards the north, and we have a lot of outflow. That's something going for the storm, but sea surface temperature is also very warm, but the shear, I mean, come on, guys. This thing is just falling apart, and it's struggling, and I think it really wants to get its act together. But the center has been relocated off towards the north, back towards the south, back towards the north, and I mean we're just gonna look at basically a disorganized cluster of thunderstorms over the next several days by Friday into Saturday. Now, some of these outer rain bands, they still could come ashore, and you can see right here some of those showers pushing on around Leyte and Samar, and that's going to bring you some precipitation out here. And even despite the secondary circulation kind of lingering offshore and slowly tracking off towards the north, those bands will continue to push, and that is still the threat of rainfall and even the threat of flooding. I'm not going to take that away. The good news is that it's going to cool off your temperatures a little bit. That's the main regulatory effect in the tropics, is cloud cover as far as your temperatures. And you can see, I mean, once this comes ashore, some areas you get a little bit cooler on this scale, a little bit darker reds. Let that buffer up really quick, but that is something that we are seeing. So your temperatures are going to go down from the high 30s down to the low 30s, and possibly into the 20s for a few of you if this does linger enough right near the coastal areas. But for real, that is all for right now, everybody, on Tropical Depression Peipah. Still a rainmaker in effect for coastal areas. That's the latest track from JTWC. I mean, it's just a very weak storm, and it's nothing to really take all too threatening at this time. And one more reason why we always say, you know, don't don't put out warnings too early, or these storm systems can change in their forecast. Elsewhere across the globe, we are still watching basically a cold front move across northern Japan. I am going to talk about that a little bit later on, and a text update on the website. Clearing behind that, and then warming up, and still some showers in southeastern China. The rainy season is actually getting off there. And the other big topic is down towards the south. We have, let's scroll back here, we have severe cyclone Ita. I'm going to put out a separate update on that in just a moment, but if you're in the far northern portions of Queensland, get ready for this one. Definitely going to be a big storm. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and stay safe out there.